Hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So we are joined by Bob today. Bob, I'm excited to have you here. And I should ask you before we got on, but is it? I'm gonna probably is it Jabor or is
Yes, that's
that
correct.
close?
Bob
All right,
Jabor.
all right. I
Good,
don't know if
good
it was a
job there.
silent R. Make sure there. Oh, cool. Well, I'm happy to have you for a lot of reasons we're gonna get into. Um, and as we're kind of jumping on, we got some people coming on. If we really want to be interactive here, so if you guys that are watching, just coming on, and I know some of you joining as we go along, if you can start posting products and services you do, I want to know the crowd we're talking to. So if you can post in your chat there, or Facebook, wherever you're watching this, YouTube, in the comments, the products or services you offer your clients, and even the area you're from, that would be awesome to get started here. So, Bob, thanks for joining me. I want to start learning a little bit more about you. I really like to kind of learn the background, why you do what you do, where you came from, all that stuff. We know you're in Texas, proud Texan. Got Texas behind you there. So I guess when you started your career, what was it? Something was, and now for everyone, group benefits is what you do. Is that something you set out to get into? Did you kind of happen into it? Just share a little bit about your story and how you ended up in that.
Sure, Chris. So I've been in sales now for over 40 years. I'm one of the older guys probably on your network and all that. But I tried different careers. Prior to getting in the insurance business, I was an IT recruiter for about 7 years during the Y2K and all that. And the market was kind of changing. And I'd worked for companies primarily, and I decided I kind of want to get on my own. And so there was an opportunity to get into insurance through my brother-in-law. And I started in the senior market. I did annuities and life insurance. And that was okay for me. And I know a lot of the viewers are in that space, which is great, but it was just not my passion and my heart.
Yeah.
And so I came upon health insurance through a friend of a friend and started helping people individually.
Okay.
And I really liked the model of web-enabled type marketing. I bought internet leads and built a successful practice. And it was ironic, kind of a fun little aside here, but I came to some of Jeremiah's seminars when he worked for a company back in Dallas in
Okay.
2010. It was really cool. So I've known
Yeah.
Jeremiah indirectly for, over 10, 15 years.
Okay. Yeah. That was. I mean, Jeremiah shared that story many times. So it's where he started. The lead generation journey that he began. So it's very
Yeah.
cool.
So,
I didn't even
so
know
I had
that.
that connection and was
Okay.
very impressed with Jeremiah, particularly at a young age, how he was had such insight into marketing in this space, particularly for insurance professionals.
Yeah.
And so I got in the insurance business, did internet leads, built a six-figure income just buying internet leads in the individual market. Then ACA came along, 2010, and I started to have to make a transition because I saw the writing on the wall that the commissions were going to go down on
Yeah.
ACA plans.
Yeah.
And so I started writing groups. What I did at first was just simply convert a lot of my individual clients to small group, 2, 3,
Okay.
5, 10 people.
Yeah.
And then I actively started to get specific groups, different sizes and all. And right now I have, probably close to 100 groups.
Yeah.
But I've had
Awesome.
some attrition recently, and so I'm wanting to grow my business more
Yeah.
and wanting to work on the larger groups to help stabilize my business.
Sure.
And then
Sure.
the other thing I'm trying to do a little bit, which is kind of getting my feet wet, is I'm trying to do some PEO work. Basically, I have a strategic partner in the PEO space. And the great thing about that, from my standpoint, is all I have to do is sell the deal. They take over the account.
Yeah.
I just manage the relationship.
Sure.
And so that's great mailbox money, as we say in the
Yeah.
insurance industry.
Sure. Well, I think, and I know we had a little delay there, so we got some good people watching. So if you're watching, I'd asked earlier if you could put the products or services you're offering here. I want to kind of, so Bob's actually on the group benefit side, and I want to talk to him for a lot of reasons. But one thing I wanted to bring up, which you spoke about, I mean, your business changed with the ACA, right? And a lot of us have to change and adapt as we go along, right? That's the one constant in life is change. And you said something interesting, and it got me thinking, because this, as many of you know my story, I'm a financial advisor. I started using LinkedIn and started working with business owners. And one of the reasons I started a group benefits division of what I did is because I realized that's a huge problem they have. And the first partnership I had was an advisor who sat on the desk across from me, the office across from me, and he had a lot of business owner clients that we started working with and started building this model out. And I think that's a missed opportunity. I think one of the things we talk about is like partnerships, right? Like advisors that work with business owners that can go deeper, that can help their advisors. It creates more money, as you know. If you can save a group significant funds, so can you speak to that? Have you done any partnerships like that? And what advisors are missing in helping their clients with really what's a big issue for a lot of business owners, and usually is the number 2 line item expense behind their labor expense.
No, that's a great comment, Chris. No, some of my best strategic partners are financial advisors here in Dallas and Fort Worth. They have clients, a lot of them have clients getting ready to retire. And so they'll bring me in 6 months to a year before they retire.
Okay.
And I help lay out with them the options as far as if they want to stay on their COBRA plan, if they want to do an individual plan. I've actually had a couple of these individuals start a small business so that they could access a small business group policy.
Yeah.
Because, or as you may or may not know in your state, but in Texas, we really don't have any PPO networks on the ACA market. So pretty much if you want a PPO, you have to have a group. And I've literally had a couple of high net worth people put together a small business after their corporate job so that they could get access to a PPO network.
Yeah.
Because you can, as you know, Chris, you can write a group as small as 2 people. So
sure, yeah, and I think that's something I think it's very important for our advisors to know that there's other ways to help clients, right? I think that's ultimately why we all do what we do to help clients, and there's a lot of ways that they need help, and we're not always the expert in that area, so it's important to do that. So that's great. We'll come back to some of this stuff. So just kind of wanted to kind of get moving forward there. So you became an early adopter of Jeremiah, or you knew of him early. So I always like to hear that story too, of when you became kind of introduced to advisors. So that's great. Did you start consuming power hours and stuff? Were you a continuous subscriber, or did you kind of refine Jeremiah advisors later on after you initially started with the individual health leads?
I'm sorry, say that again, Chris. I'm trying to follow that train of thought there.
Yeah. So I was saying, when you started 15 plus years ago when Jeremiah was starting the individual leads, that's when you got introduced. Were you continuously following, or did you come back at some point? And I'm just wondering what that might have looked like.
I kind of came back.
Yeah.
Like a lot of us when we get married and have kids, and we have a lot of friends that we socialize with. And I used to play basketball with buddies when I first got married and all that. And then you get busy, kind of like I followed, Jeremiah back then. And when he came to Dallas to speak, I would hear him speak. And then I kind of got busy with my career and it started rolling along. But then I got involved in different things that kind of brought me back to Jeremiah's stuff. Like I read the book Shift. I bought the book and read Shift.
Yeah.
And then last year I've had some changes with my business. I lost a couple of large accounts. And I'd kind of gotten, if I can be honest, a little lazy, a little lackadaisical. Sure. When you're in the health business, you can make a pretty good income, and all you have to do is just retain it, just take care of your clients. But every business, group insurance, financial advising, whatever, you have a life cycle to a client. It could be as short as 1 to 2 years. It could be as long as 10 years or even longer. But you constantly have to replace your pipeline. And I didn't really replace my pipeline. So last year, the wheels aligned itself, and I lost 2 of my larger groups. And I started losing some of my individual clients that I've had up to 10 to 12 years. And I was like, okay, Bob, you have to redirect, even at your age, you have to get focused again on a marketing strategy.
Yeah. Okay.
And I went back to the internet leads as the first deal. And quite honestly, it was a joke. I mean, I became a internet lead aficionado. I knew when they were real and not.
Yeah.
And I would turn my leads on. I'd get 5 in 30 seconds. And I knew those weren't real-time leads.
Yeah.
And I got to be where I was very good at closing on real-time internet leads, but if you can't get them, you're just wasting your time.
Sure.
So that's when I wanted to find something new and fresh for me. And I'd remember Jeremiah being such a great insurance marketer that kind of went back the well and researched and found him on the internet.
Great. Well, very cool. I think, all right, so we need some participation here. I see we got plenty of people watching. So let us know where you're watching from. Let us know products and service you offer. I think we're going to see a lot of this stuff kind of going back and forth. So please do that. And don't forget to link or subscribe as well to this channel and to everything we're doing here. So again, let's see those comments come rolling in. So Bob, you came into the program, and you and I had a conversation pretty early on, and I love the group benefit space. I love the help it provides for business owners, and I think it's as you understand the need, it's something that really helps these business owners and their employees. It affects a lot of lives. So I think that's all great stuff that you're doing, and I'm just wondering, kind of, when you started kind of getting back into, like you said, you kind of fell away. You're trying to get back into it. What was kind of the impetus for, you knew Jeremiah and everything that was going on. I was kind of wondering what was the impetus for joining our shift program, and specifically to LinkedIn with the type of market that you're working with.
Sure. Well, like I said, I'm kind of old school because I'm older than probably a lot of people on the
Sure.
But I had previously done older type marketing strategy, email things, that nature. And my kids, I have kids in their 20s and 30s, and everything nowadays is social media. And this is embarrassing, but I've had a LinkedIn account for 10 years.
Yeah.
And have never had anyone reach out to me. And then, as I shared with you recently, before I could finish my profile, I got a response.
Spoiler alert, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. We're going to talk about that.
You and Jeremiah had shared. So that got me excited just right from the get-go. Yeah. And to be honest, too, because I was a recruiter, an IT recruiter, which you're trying to help people get jobs, my LinkedIn profile looked more like a resume than a marketing tool.
Yes. So that's some great stuff. That's some of the teardown stuff. So we're getting into the good stuff now. And I see some comments coming in. So great. So David, good to see you. SG, they're excited to hear from you, Bob. Yeah. So thanks to Bob again. Give him some love. This gives us an opportunity to really kind of dive deep. Hopefully, you guys can take lots of notes from this. Excited to kind of jump into that. We got the OG in the house. We got Ralph. He's a fellow guest here for you, Bob. So he's an alum. You guys now share that in the fraternity. All right. We got financial planning, insurance, all that. Great. Keep those comments coming. We love seeing that and where you're from. So I think, all right. So you talked about right away that you changed your profile and you got a lead right away. And that's a big win for a lot of reasons. But let's kind of talk through that, because like you said, LinkedIn wasn't something that you were using.
Correct.
And specifically to your market, right? We talk about niche, you have business owners here and everything. It's a big opportunity for a lot of reasons we've talked about many times. I'm going to spare everyone that. They've heard me say it many times. So I want to dig a little deeper there because it's really cool. So let's talk about this. So you said your profile was a resume. So explain what you mean by that.
Well, basically, it was just very generic. It just said Bob Jabor, health insurance agent in Plano, Texas, very blah. And then I basically had my listing of my job skills, my career and things of that nature. Mentioned that, I did individual and small group and, accident, things like life insurance, but it was just very generic. And so when I started listening to some of the trainings, both from you and Jeremiah, the first thing I knew, which was a wow thing, was the banner. I didn't even know that the banner existed. And I went to Canva and found a banner, found exactly the one I wanted. A great visual image, put it on my website, and then I put my USP, unique selling position. And then on one of the training sessions with Jeremiah, he said, Bob, this is good, but when I told him I remembered him from 50, he says, tell people you've been in the business for 20 years. That's tremendous. He said, most people have not been in the industry that long. And tell them how many people you've helped. You've helped over 500 groups, and you've helped thousands and thousands of individual clients. That shows credibility, and that shows longevity and knowledge, And so he really helped me drill down, and you did too, Chris, about be specific. That's the buzzword here. Be specific. Don't speak in generalities. Yeah.
You're speaking, and that's the nicest. So and that's really what we teach here, right? Taking your LinkedIn profile and a resume. Some people use it as a resume, and that's great. It's really the purpose. They're trying to find a job. They're looking for opportunities. But when we're marketing ourselves and have the opportunity to market ourselves to a captive audience, or we do direct messages, all the things that we teach and do in our coaching program, we have to do things a little bit differently. So we're going to dive into that. And again, if anyone wants to learn more about how we coach and teach that, please visit meetwithadvisors.com. Check out some of testimonials, some information, and sign up for a free consultation with one of our coaches. So we got plenty of people now watching. We got Marvin in the house, doing some long-term care. Benita, thanks for joining us. SG, we're going to talk about that. Bob's been in the program. He launched about just shy of a month ago, I believe, his first campaign. So he came in and did things pretty quickly. And that's one of the things that we see a lot when we see people have early success in the program. There's two big indicators, and I think you fit both these, and please correct me if I'm wrong. But number one, you know your market, right? I think it's safe to say you know your market after 40 years in the business, or 40 years of experience, right? 20 plus years in the business. Number one. And so that allows you to craft a very specific message to that market and create those opportunities. The other thing is you take action. You got it done, right? You can't get leads or opportunities if you don't do the work. So you did the work, you got it done very quickly. And I love both those things. Those are great things to have in place. So he's just new in the program, but already having some good wins. I think let's go to your profile. Oh, we're already 15 minutes in here. So let's get to the good stuff. Let me share my screen here. Hopefully. There we go. All right. So we're going to share my screen. We should see your LinkedIn profile. All right. So let's hit on some notes right away. So Bob, you mentioned the banner image. It's been a little while since we've done these breakdowns, and we get a ton of questions about these. So hopefully, again, take out your notepads, take some notes here. We're going to go through, and we'll go forward here. So we explained the banner image is like it's a billboard on a highway, right? You're going by it. You need to capture someone's attention, all right? And I think there's a couple things here. And you said you use Canva. So there's resources for this. You already mentioned Canva. There's Fiverr. There's a bunch of resources to help you with these things. Helping small business owners and techs find affordable healthcare solutions outside of the box. So that implies to me that it's something different, something I haven't heard of. And that's really what we want to do with our market, right? Our target market, we want to be different than everyone else that's trying to talk to them or have a conversation with them. And so if you can present that in a way that makes them think, oh, maybe there's something here I don't know or haven't heard, that's a great first step. So I want to point out a couple things, and we're on a teardown here, so we're going to do the good and the bad, Bob. So I hope I know you're game for this, but
please do.
All right. So the banner image, I'm just going to say it's a good image. I like the image of the employees and everything. It doesn't stick out to me, right? The verbiage doesn't stick out to me. So we can.
I agree. No, I agree.
Right.
I feel like it's the first draft right now.
Yeah, perfect. Right.
Tightened up.
Yep. And so, I think we're getting that employee, that business owner feel from there, which is the kind of the first step that you want, which is great. But then we need to capture their attention, and I don't think we're quite doing that. The profile image is great, but a lot of times the stuff behind you can be distracting.
Okay.
From your image. And it's funny, we've tested all this. All these little things matter. So as you guys are doing this, I know it's saying to me, it doesn't really matter. It does. All these little things add up. I'm going to just put a plug in. There's a great, if you want to Google it, the story of, I think it's David Brailsford, the aggregation of marginal returns. It's a story about the British cycling team, and then making 1% improvements, and how all these 1%, they hadn't won the Tour de France or any cycling competition like 50 years, and all of a sudden they won a whole bunch. And it's a really cool story. But all these little things matter. And in our program, where our response rate is 7%, and that's a good response rate, 1% is that's 12, 13% difference, right? When you aggregate it. So all these little things do matter. So pay attention to the details. So Bob, actually Canva allows you to create a transparent background and then put something behind you. So it's very easy just to use that profile picture, which is great. The setup and everything's great of that, but just to put like a blank background behind you. This is another mistake we see a lot of advisors make. So your small group health insurance broker, and you see this little, so this is the second, I should say. The first is no one's using this banner. So there's the blue LinkedIn background, the standard background you see on everyone's profile is there. So we're doing better there, but the same thing here, this logo, we're missing an opportunity. So I'm just going to scroll down here. We see right here. All this is, so the way this works for you guys, I don't know if you know this, this is a really cool tip. When you put, your title, but when you put the company, you can link it to a company page on LinkedIn. And all you have to do is you go to these little 9 dots that say work, you click down on there, and you go to create a company page on the right-hand side here. That's all you have to do to start. It's free, it's easy. That's how you create your company page. And when you do that, you'll add a logo. And then when you sync the company name, so you just have to edit this and add the company name here again, it will sync the logo. And so it's just increases the professionalism. You'll see your logo right here with your company name. There'll be a link, which there is, to go view your company as well. So it's, again, free real estate and just overall improves the view of everything here. Okay, so make sure you guys do that. One more thing, I think I want to point out a couple things right here on the top part here, and then we'll stop for a second and discuss this. Your title. So you did a couple things. Your Texas Small Group Health Insurance Broker, right? We teach you can actually put this in your first name when you edit it, and in the last name you can add a title and you can add emojis in here as well, and that creates something there. And if you could be creative with that, so whether you are helping employers save money, whatever that USP is, which right here is outside the box strategies, right? So benefit strategist or some creative name that you can use there to give people an idea of what you do. You'll see this when you're running campaigns, right? And as a member of our program, you know this. We watch the numbers and your acceptance rate. So when we run campaigns, the number of people that are accepting your messages, this is something that can be indicative of a good or bad number. And what the reason is when you're on LinkedIn and you go to the profile and you see the contacts, they'll tell you they'll show you the name and part of that USP. You'll see a part of that. If you go into your network and you'll see pending requests, you'll see exactly. Let's do it. All right, we're here. We're doing a teardown. Let's do this. Might take a minute here, but as that's coming up, you'll see that information and the reason. So invitations, right? So if you look here at my invitations, I got names, right? And then a little bit of the USP spot that we put in. So you're missing an opportunity to present yourself to your target market a little bit for them to see it very quick. Oh, Anita, ignore, right? It's just as easy as accept or ignore as I'm going through this. And so if you can appeal to them with what they see here, that helps improve your campaigns, improve your connections, improve all of those things. So this title up here can really help with that.
Sure.
Okay. Now, you did something really unique with your USP that we don't really teach, but I like it, is you kind of created two things and off of Jeremiah's points, and you drew attention to them, which is really good. So I love everything about this except one thing that's missing, and this is one of the main things I see missing from USPs. This is good, right? This is what you do.
Mm-hmm.
This is great. What's the benefit? What's the emotional component that target prospect gets from talking to you?
Save money.
There you go. For the business owners, that's it. That's the missing piece. To save you money, right? That's why, all right, I got to save money. I need to take some time and learn what Bob does. That's exactly it. That's exactly what I was thinking. We're like-minded there. So you're just missing that little component. So you just want to add that.
Good.
Last thing is this contact information. So here you want to make sure all your contact information is here. So you got your profile link, website link, you got multiple links. You can put your calendar link in here. All right, Twitter, anything else, email, phone number. You want to have those things on here. You want to make it as easy as possible for a prospect to get a hold of you. If I don't really, if I'm not on Twitter, I have to go to your website and find your information or hit you on Twitter or something. Put your phone number, email right there. Make it very easy. So that's up here. So I'm going to pause here. We kind of did a teardown, just the top piece, which will go a little bit further here. But I want to stop there with a couple comments and questions coming in. So Ralph, I believe we answered your question at this point. So you'll link it by actually just. So Ralph is asking, how do you link a active current company? So all you need to do is you'll edit. If you're in your profile, it'll be an edit button here. If you're signed in, this is Bob, so it's not an edit profile. And then you'll retype the company name, and as you're typing it, the name will come up. You type it in exactly what your company name is, your company page is. As you do that, it will pop up, and you just click that, and then it'll sync to that page. That's all you have to do, Ralph. All right. Okay. So SG, great question here. Texas small group. This is all part of it, right? Putting this information in there to your target market. So there's some things that start to happen. So let's go back to, I mean, Bob hadn't even done anything. It just started messing with your profile and you got a lead off of it, right? Nice. How many employees were in that group?
There's 10.
10. All right. So a lead that could lead to, what, $2,000 a month potentially if you do all the dental vision, all that stuff, right? A really good start potentially. So that's great. That was just from making changes. Okay. And that's what starts to happen when you do these things, when you build your profile, why we have these templates that we do in our program. So again, meetwithadvisors.com. You can see a little bit more, talk to one of our coaches. This is what happens and why we have the templates and the testing that we've done. Because you start showing up in searches. And, I don't know if you've looked at it recently, Bob, you'll start seeing like your profile views. They'll go way up. It'll tell you how many searches you've shown up in that week. The algorithms of LinkedIn, they want people who are active on LinkedIn to remain active, right? They want you in LinkedIn. So they push more activity your way. The longer you're in LinkedIn doing work, talking to people, looking at ads, clicking on things, that's revenue and help to their bottom line. So they promote that, and their algorithms promote that by putting you in more searches, helping you get brought up in things. All right.
Chris, can I comment about that?
Please.
So, when I first started making changes, even LinkedIn reached out to me and said, we noticed you're doing some profile changes. Can we help you? And they, like you said, because they saw I was more active, they wanted to know if they could assist. And fortunately, I had advisors to help me do it specifically for my industry, but they already reached out because of the activity level.
Yeah. They again, right? They need you in LinkedIn, using LinkedIn as much as possible, and that's what they want you to do. So,
can I address my banner real quick too? A couple of things.
Yes.
So this is kind of like the rough first draft of it. Like I said, it went from nothing to 0.1. But a couple of things I kind of want to do to it in the future is the reason why I picked this picture is because there's that blank space at the bottom of it, of the board table.
Yep.
And I want to do that program where you get recognized on different publications like CNN, Fox, so that those logos can go down there.
Yeah.
I also did the contagious content video.
Yeah.
And I haven't had time yet, but I want to put the little arrow that says follow me, and you click on it and it does the video on my picture. Yep. So, and then on my logo, the small group, not like I don't have enough to do right now doing the profile, and the banner. Sure. I'm totally overhauling my website. It's still in beta. I'm about 95% done, and I redid my logo. So that's why my logo's not there. That I'm going to be launching a new website and I have a new logo, and that's why it'll link there once I get that finished.
Yeah, no, that's all. And that, but you did something that's great, and which I beg with people to do. It's not perfect, but it's good, and you put it out there.
Right.
And because you did that, you have lead, like we even talked about leads you got coming in too, right? Just making the changes. You have a group you're working with, could be great. You got other leads that are starting to trickle in now. Just a few weeks in, but that's the thing that we say, like, progress over perfection. Jeremiah says that all the time. I use good, better, best. Like, if it's good, get it out there, publish the thing. You're going to start to get activity. You're going to start to get opportunities instead of sitting on this for 2-3 months, going over the details, trying to make it perfect and missing out on opportunities. We get it out there. You're getting opportunities already. We see that. And as you improve it and make it better, it will continue to improve. The other thing is we don't know if our message will resonate. We don't know if our banner, all these things will add up to a great campaign and a great lead flow. You're getting feedback, right? As you're having opportunities to talk with people, you're getting feedback. As you're getting no responses, you're getting feedback. All right, I'm missing the mark on something. I need to improve it. So the other thing is, if you sit there and try to make it perfect, you could have the most perfect profile in the world in your mind. You launch it, and it's not what the consumer or the prospects want. So get it out there, get it done. You did that. I commend you for that. And now we just work together. We make iterations. We make it better. And just enhance it overall. So
well, there's another part to that, Chris, because you and I are in the benefit space, is that this could be a great website or a great profile. although it's not yet. But because I'm in technically the off season for renewals,
Sure.
some of the people haven't gotten their pain point in August, September, October for their renewal rates. And now they really want to talk to a broker about group health
Yep.
insurance. So now is kind of a good time for me to be testing the waters so that it's more perfected for when the selling season happens late summer and early fall.
Right. And I think that's interesting. I'm looking through your responses. I mean, just been running a couple weeks, so you've got some responses here. But it looks like you've got a couple people saying that they want you to follow up with them in the future. And as we know, in benefits, what is it? 70% of plans in the U.S. renew January 1st. So it's like this weird window we have. But it starts to fill your pipeline, which is awesome. And so as to what you're talking about there, you have time to do that, but you're also getting opportunities out of it.
Good
All
point.
right. Great. Okay. So I'm just looking at making sure we get the comments here. Yeah, Ralph, it's that simple. Not a problem. Yeah, SG. So this is a great point. So to follow up to what I just said to Bob as well, I think it's the interesting thing you see, not just in any campaign you're running, whether you're selling long-term care, life insurance, securities, whatever that product or service is. So when you reach out to somebody, it's all about timing. So Bob, you know that, right? If someone doesn't have the pain point of I need to save money because they haven't received their renewal notice, they don't know what's going on yet, it's not on their minds yet, you're not gonna turn that button right then, right? But this is why we've designed the program the way we do and why there's so many great things that start to happen. Because number one, we're following up with that person right away just in our regular campaigns for months and over multiple channels. So that increases the likelihood of them seeing it, right? And it also hitting them at the right time that they have that pain point. They know the renewal is coming up. They get that renewal letter. They're talking to their buddy who owns another company, got their renewal letter. Now they're concerned about all those things that could potentially happen.
Right. And the thing, Chris, is that a lot of times if you take care of people and are helpful to them, even though you can't help them right then, over the years, I've been amazed how many times that someone's called me and said, hey, Joe Smith, who said you couldn't help him, said that you were really professional.
Yeah.
And I want to work with you. And I went, wow, that's a referral from someone I didn't sell.
Yeah.
Because I helped them. I told them to stay on their COBRA or delay, retiring till it was more appropriate from an insurance standpoint. So you're never wrong for investing time in people and helping them, even though you don't make a sale at that point.
Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely. And also what we do, as you know, being in the program, we so LinkedIn back in 2018, November of 2018, I remember this not fondly, vividly. You used to be able, you still can download your contacts and their information directly from LinkedIn. But in November of 2018, they changed that. They no longer gave you their contact information. This became an opt-in option. So the default was you were opted out of this, and less than 1% of people opt into this. Take the time to do that. So now if you download that list, you're not getting any contact information, any actionable information. So our system actually goes in and cultivates and aggregates that information and provides it to you in an Excel. So the other thing that starts to happen, back to SG's point, right, is that we're able to stay in contact with these prospects now with newsletters, with ongoing campaigns, with first degree campaigns, other activity we can do inside of LinkedIn that starts to keep you involved with them all year long. And so to SG's point, right, as other brokers may hit them or come, try to talk to them or send them an email, at one point, we know 98% of advisors stop after the first contact. All right. And if you can be the one that continues the 10th, 50th, 100th, whatever it takes, and we coach you on automation and all that stuff, that's the stuff that wins business long term. And that's the power of LinkedIn and the program that we coach on. So again, meetwithadvisors.com to learn more about that. Talk to one of our coaches. But that's exactly kind of the benefit here. And Bob, you're just starting to see a little bit of that.
Right.
But as you move forward, I'm excited to continue to help you. And we got our Wednesday coaching where we go over that a lot. I'll help you keep improving that, because I know what that can do. Just quick aside, after I started working with Jeremiah here at Advisors and taking on the Shift program, I stopped marketing for my personal production. I still kept my book of business, still did that, but just kind of got out of the prospecting piece because I was focused on this and helping advisors and brokers do what I did, right? Last year, so over almost 2 years of not prospecting, I got an email from somebody I had prospected to and had repeatedly contacted that had an issue with their group health insurance and thought of me and needed help. And that's the thing, you start to see that it's about timing. And as someone, when someone needs it, if you're the first person they think of because you've been sending them good content, you send them good information, but touching base with them, keeping in contact, they need a quick solution. They need to go to the first person they think of, and hopefully that's you, and that's what you want to happen. All right, so back to the OG here. Activity spurs curiosity. I love that comment, Ralph. Thank you for that. That's absolutely true. We saw that, with Bob here as well. So, all right. Another thing I wanted to point out about what you did your services page. So LinkedIn has services pages. And so you can see you're providing services, health insurance, small business insurance. So if I click that, it takes me to your service page. I can request a proposal, learn more, which is great. That's another thing I would tell you. So Shift members, we have training on service pages in the members area. So check that out. Make sure you take advantage of that page. It helps show up in more searches, or as people are searching for local services, they'll find you in that. So really cool stuff there. All right. Bob, next thing I want to talk about is your profile. Okay. And I want to talk about a couple things here. I'm going to pick on you a little bit here. Okay. Because this isn't our template exactly. I think
Please do.
All right. I think you adopted our template, which is fine. But there's a couple things. I think back to your point about, like you said, you had a resume, and now you're trying to create like a marketing page, right? A sales page is what we're doing here. And that's really the idea. So let's go back to this. So a lot of people's first introduction to you on LinkedIn is going to be that connection message you send them, and then the messages we coach to send, right? So you have the templates, you start sending these messages. That's the first introduction. But they have a journey. That's not where it ends. That's why all of these things matter, because they come to your page, they see your banner. If it's different, if it's not what you're saying in your messages, if it's not the same vibe, you'll lose people, right? If it is, that's why we want to be consistent. We want to capture their attention, because we want them to keep going. We want them to see your title. Here's my USP. Here's how I help you. They're coming down here, and they're going to get a better explanation of what you do and the value they get. And so our template is really geared towards talking about the prospect initially, because they ultimately need to see that your solution works for them, that they're your target market and you're speaking to them. So kind of the holy grail here is, as they're reading it, they're going to be reading and saying, this is me, right? You're saying the things that are me. Are you having, and you do this here. Does this sound familiar to you? You do this here, but I don't want to lose them up here. And that's why the template's designed the way it is. Okay. And so, that you want them to kind of think as they're going through it, kind of these 4 steps is, number 1, this is me, right? This sounds like me. All right. Number 2, Bob seems to know me. He seems to be knowledgeable on this. I need to talk to Bob, because if I don't, I'm going to miss out on something, right? And he's got information that will be valuable to me. So there's value. But then the 4th one is the urgency. I need to do it today, because if I miss out on this, I'm going to lose out on something that could benefit me. And a lot of advisors and agents and brokers get through the first 3. There's value, but they fail to create urgency. That's why the template's built the way we do it. And just for you guys listening, our template starts talking, the first 2 paragraphs are about the prospect. Then we talk about how we help them. Then we talk about problems they have. There's 3 segments: problems they have, solutions for those problems that we provide, and the 3rd is what they get after a period of working with us. Like, what's the payoff for all of this? And so it builds on each other to really help them see, not only is this solution for me, not only do I have these problems, but Bob, or the person on their profile, is who can help me with this, and I get all of these things from working with them. So I would ask you to revisit the template we have, because there's a method to it. But what you did awesome, which many people do not, is your information is very easy to find here using emojis. It's another thing we don't see a lot of, or it's kind of just garbled in here, maybe 1 or 2 links or a number or something. Again, you want to make it as easy as possible for your prospects to find you. Okay. All right. So I've been talking a little bit. I'm going to stop sharing. All right. So again, keep those comments coming. We'll love hearing from you. If you have any questions for Bob or me as we're kind of going over this, or profile questions or anything, throw those in the chat. We'll hit those. You got a couple minutes here. I just want to kind of, close up here and chat. So I'm interested, Bob, because again, this is, if I look back at my journey and how I started and how my LinkedIn journey evolved for my marketing, this was a big part of it, going after business owners and solving a problem. I knew nothing about group benefits. I knew nothing about any of the stuff I'm talking to you about today, but I knew that was the problem because I learned my target market and I knew that was their number one problem they were facing. And I adapted myself. And so I'm just wondering, kind of as you're sitting here on this side of things and you're looking forward, and with LinkedIn, how you see it really impacting your business moving forward.
Well, I think what's going to happen, Chris, is there's a piece of this I haven't even had the opportunity to start, which you and Jeremiah particularly have talked a lot about, and that's doing posts on LinkedIn. Because then people see your personality. And on a number of Jeremiah's calls, he's talked about you focus in on just like sometimes surveys to just get people's interest on a general topic, or you talk about, something that you have a passion for. Like for me, I'm into health and fitness, and I try and eat regularly. During COVID, I built a home gym, and because I used to go to the gym, so I go to a home gym I did it this morning. I have a pool, so when it warms up, I can swim. But everyone and I know Jeremiah has a passion for travel and for helping different, people in different countries. But when people see your personality and they connect to you, then they want to work with you. And if there's one tip, Chris, I can give for people that are new to sales that I've dealt with, not just the 20 years of health insurance, but my 40 years of sales, is that people buy from people they like and they trust. And sometimes I've seen people purchase a product or service without even really understanding the product, just because they trust you. And I've had people, doctors, attorneys, CPAs, CEOs of companies, and they go, "You're the expert. You tell me what to do." And most of those high-powered professionals would never say that to you unless they totally trusted you.
And that's a great point. And that's something, we talk about. Authenticity is kind of a buzzword. It's something that you hear a lot, but it's true. And there's a reason for that. Number one, you want people to know who you are. But number two, you're also a stranger on the internet, right? Asking someone to work with you. And so I think there's, which is a great point, that if you need your personality to shine in the post that you do, which allows for additional, opportunity in video and other things, there's featured posts you can put right on your profile. And what that allows for is someone to see that you are who you are. And there is a risk, not a risk. There's something to watch out for here when we're talking about this profile breakdown. If you want to seem like a buttoned up professional, got all your I's dotted, T's crossed, all of those things in your messaging and everything you're saying, and you're very professional, that's okay. But really, if someone gets on the phone with you and you're this fun-loving, fun person, it's different, right? It becomes different. And even though they may like you, there's a red flag that goes off. And I've seen this so many times with advisors, and it's just like, I don't know if I could trust this person. They're saying this, but then they're doing this. Are they just selling me? So being authentic to yourself in your messaging, and I had somebody just kind of write this crazy USP. And like, I don't know if I should do that. I'm like, that seems like something you would say. Exactly what you would say. Like, that's you. That's what you want to do. You want to let that personality come out for a very important reason, because you want to create that trust factor. And to exactly your point, if they like you, they know you, and there's consistency through your message, and when they talk to you and see videos and you are authentic, that's when you get those opportunities where, yeah, sure, they'll do business with you just because they like and trust you without really knowing all the details at some point.
Right. And Chris, you have to be passionate about what you're selling.
Yes.
I think the hardest thing in the world is to sell something you don't believe in. And I did that in my 40 years. I sold stuff that I really didn't believe. But a little quick aside about myself. I grew up, the son of a surgeon in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And so I saw my dad help people throughout his life. And when I used to go visit him before he passed a few years ago, we would go to restaurants and people would walk up to him and say, "Dr. Jabor, you help my mom or my dad or whatever." Mm-hmm. And I try and incorporate that into my job and in my insurance business. I care about my clients. I mean, health insurance can help save people's lives to get treatment and can provide income to provide them for financial ruin.
Yeah.
And so you have to have that passion about what you sell, and people see that, and they see that you care about them.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, thank you for that. Give Bob some love, everybody. I know, he took time out of his busy schedule to do this with us, he'll allow me to pick on him a little bit in his profile here. Profile is good. We're going to make it great here and keep
Good
improving
stuff.
on it.
Thanks.
Yeah. So thanks to Bob here. I'll give you the last word, Bob, if you got anything you want to add or anything you want people to know. Or
Sure. Like I said, it kind of go back to the people that are new in the business, because I know some people make career changes that are now getting in financial services or insurance. Just be patient. This business, you don't make $1 million overnight or even 100,000. You just have to grind at it. Be patient. Care about your client. Not that they're your best buddy, but that you care about helping them in what you're providing. And they'll see that and they'll buy from you, and you will be the expert and help them choose the product they need.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Bob. We got lots of great comments coming here thanking you. So we thank you for joining us. Again, if you want to visit meetwithadvisors.com to learn more, we'd love to chat with you. One of our coaches standing by to kind of just talk you through kind of what we do, how we can help you, and do similar help with the profile, all the templates we have available. So, Bob, thank you again. Everyone have a great day. Got a weekend coming up here, so enjoy that and have a good one. Thanks.